Hey, what's up, Stronger Together peeps? I've had a great time talking with many of you mentors over the last couple weeks, and I'm hearing a theme that's consistent. I'm enjoying talking to my mentee, we're having a nice dialogue, we're just not getting where we want to be so far. So I thought I might reach out now, tell you a little bit more about what you might do next to really add depth and meaning to those conversations you're having. A lot of that is thinking back to my own mentee experiences, mentorship opportunities, and thinking that you do need that early time just to establish the groundwork, just to set up the trust that's going to be really critical when you hit that hiccup or when you're challenged in meeting that goal you've set for yourself and trying to move down that path. Having the rapport, being there and being strong is what's going to make the meaningful difference. As you're structuring that, there are some housekeeping sort of things you have to do that matter. Amongst them are making sure that you're meeting enough on a regular pattern to make it have significance to both you and the mentee. If you're not meeting regularly enough, it's not going to work. I suggest no less than every other week, even if it's just a check-in. How are you? What's been the high point of your week? What are you working on and how can I help? Don't cancel those meetings. It sends a message about value to that mentee as they're working through the process, and set a pattern. Let them know you start by asking how they are, but you don't really banter around after that. You dive right into the work of being their mentor and challenging them to grow and develop. In between those chats, stay in contact really informally. Send them an article, send them a link, send them something you're reflecting on that popped into your head, just to keep that dialogue running and churning as they think about it. In terms of adding real depth, I've got 7 suggestions for you. I've gone highly technical with them. The first is returning to square one. There's going to become a time where you have to ask them point blank, why did they join Stronger Together? What do they hope to take away, and how can you help them get there? Understanding and having them clearly articulate that sets them up to have a better experience. Second, trying to be authentic and showing that you care. Establish those boundaries. Remember, your charge as the mentor is to help facilitate them towards goals. You're not a therapist, but you are expected to suspend judgment and be a safe space for them to interact and learn from you. Share a vulnerability, tell you something they're struggling with, tell you why they're nervous or anxious. You're, again, not there to counsel them through that, but you're there to say, A, it's okay to be feeling what you're feeling, but B, there's a path out and I'm going to help you get there. That definitely relates to number 3, which is listening to listening. We as a culture, as a society, have started to learn to listen, to respond, or advise. We don't hear what people say to us. All we're doing in our own mind is saying, what can I say next and how can I add value as I go through that? Remember, you're drawing an answer out of your mentee that they already know. Focus on asking fewer questions that start with why and more that ask how or what. When you go down those paths, it asks them to add value and put the path themselves, and you simply get to be like the gutters on the bowling alley, steering them in the right direction. Fourth, use stories to make points. Stories are a human way to connect. They allow us to empathize and normalize. If you say something to your mentee like, I remember the day I realized I had to leave my last job because this and this happened, it increases that relatability and it lets them know that what they're going through is something we've all experienced in one way or another before. Fifth, break those goals for them into actionable steps. Your job as mentor is to make sure that they have behavioral outcomes in between every one of those sessions you have that are moving them forward. Ask the question point blank, what can you do before we connect again to get closer to this goal? Set clear deadlines, make sure they're meaningful, and we know what it looks like to successfully accomplish that goal when that deadline accomplishes. 6, do your part. Provide accountability for them doing what they said they would. Encourage them, but make sure there's a consequence if they don't get there. What does that mean? What will they do? And make sure it's something that stings to make sure it drives them forward. Decide on what the consequence will be together. If you don't do your part, what should the cost be? Finally, and perhaps most importantly, take a risk and have fun. Enjoy this partnership that you're building. Be silly if you need to. Role play a conversation with them and their boss. Talk to them about what it might look like if they had a magic wand and the world could be anything they want. But make sure they're doing something that says, this is an enjoyable experience. You're volunteering, they're asking for help. We need to make it a win-win, and you're the key to doing that. Finally, remember you've got talent to share. Trust your instincts, invest fully, then watch what happens next. Together, we're stronger together. You know it, I know it, let's go make it happen.